I couldn't even, because I know you guys have talked about it on the show in negative ways, and that's fine. I know a buddy who grows weed, and he'll like wait a year or so for a plant to grow, and I'm like, no matter how much I personally love weed, I don't love it enough to grow it.
Yeah.
You know,
you shouldn't.
I don't even love it enough to like acknowledge that it's real.
I've seen the podcast. I'm more than aware.
So, hey,
it was so funny scrolling through that podcast, waiting to hear you talk about me, and then coming across that bit and being like, oh my gosh, every time I'm around them, I'm only ever smoking. we literally were just smoking on the balcony.
Yeah, we have ripped pot smokers for 35 episodes. It's not stopping now.
Like, my entire experience with marijuana has been in Los Angeles, California. And I bet if your first experience with marijuana came from backwoods Tennessee, your impression of it is probably incredibly different than a white lady from Los Angeles.
Most importantly, it wasn't the weed that was the problem. It was the people who used it that was the problem.
It was the
in Tennessee.
It was the directionless. I can quit anytime I want.
I'm not addicted,
has
dude.
Nothing going on. I'm not addicted to it.
Robbing people. It was a dark
robbing people.
There was a dark weird scene in Tennessee when I was growing up.
I fully believe you.
A lot of losers who are still losers.
To be very fair, if I lived in Tennessee, I would probably also do nothing but smoke weed all day.
Yeah.
I can't necessarily blame them, but I hear you, and I bet living in it was rough. Because I remember living in like Virginia Beach, Virginia for a while. I used to live in like North and Southern Virginia because I was a Navy kid. And like even
your dad was a Navy guy. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh, we talked about it on the Sunset Heights podcast.
Oh, then you can't talk about it here. Sorry. No, I'm just.
They're our rivals.
Yeah, dude.
But like, in Virginia, even like sixth graders who were like smoking pot and shit, like it was like, we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, it's just so fun ripping on potheads. Yeah. I smoked so much pot in high school.
Much pot. Dude, from time to time, I'd smoke pot too, but it's like the second that you're like, dude, hey, pot's bad for you, they're like, no, it's not, dude.
It's just fun ripping on pot.
Yeah, and they get so upset, and then like I get pleasure from them being mad.
Yeah,
you know?
but then I'll have fucking 7 drinks a night.
Yeah,
and I'm not.
Yeah, and smoke 10 cigarettes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was no. Oh my god, it was especially fun going to theater school and having people be like, you know, since you're a musical theater major, you really shouldn't smoke like joints and shit. You know, that's really not good. Like, you shouldn't own a bong. At least that's not good for you.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, they're like, can I get a pack of American Spirits, please?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the most unfiltered, like. Oh my! They're organic. They're healthy.
No, they're good for you, actually.
Guys, they're plant based. It's like you're smoking a
they're
tree
vegan,
trunk. Like, come on.
or what the fuck ever.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
people who smoke American Spirits might as well just be as worse as people who smoke pot.
Like, honestly,
because they're not. It's like, dude, smoke a cigarette or don't. Get a Lucky Strike non-filter and fucking smoke a cigarette, dude.
Yeah, because I think I've told you guys this. I put on one of my mom's old coats once, and I put my hand in the pocket because there was like a lump in the jacket for a while, but I could never find the pocket. And when I finally found it, I pulled out like a pack of Salem cigarettes from the 90s in like that emerald green foil wrapping, and there was still like 11 in there.
It's like asbestos laced.
Right? And I was like, Mom, even if you were gonna smoke behind our backs, could you have at least picked like a quality like choice? Could you, like, you had to smoke these old ass Salems?
Did you ever go through a time where you smoked cigarettes?
I've never smoked a cigarette. I've never had any interest in it.
You never smoked a cigarette?
Never at all. I've never had any interest. It's something, because honestly, I'm one of those people where, like, I don't want my dad to watch this. Sorry, Dad, I know you hate this. There are people in my family who have had issues with like getting hooked on things, or like,
yeah, same.
Yeah, you know, and it's just one of those things. And I'm the kind of person who gets hooked on things very easily. And it's one of those where I know for a fact, like, if I liked cigarettes, I wouldn't be able to stop.
Yeah.
And my mom was a smoker, and she was a smoker who could stop, and I would be a smoker who couldn't.
Yeah.
You know? And there was a time in high school where, because like right when I was a senior, not only was, it was a really weird time. So in California, for a while, you could buy cigarettes and tobacco products at 18, but then, like, right when I started college, or, like, right around the beginning of 2017, they bumped it up to 21.
It's 21 in Tennessee now.
They just did that, yeah.
Right when Ian and Brennan turned 18.
Yeah.
So
They bumped it to 21.
yeah, I was the last group of 18-year-olds who got to buy tobacco products before we couldn't anymore. So I would buy like vapes and stuff. And when I used to buy like the vape pens, it was like back when it was the refillable goo, and I would buy it with like no nicotine.
What a shitty time in American history. When everyone had a vape the size of an iPhone and they were just like,
right?
whoa.
It was
Some
they were
people
like,
still do.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not. It's good for you because it's not a cig.
Because this
Yeah.
is better than a Lucky
Mine was
Strike.
never
And
that bad.
remember those fucking batteries? Like you'd take out the back and you'd click like 3 batteries into the thing.
Oh, it's as big
and
as
it'd be
an
like,
iPhone.
whoa, and a huge cloud. You're like,
No, but this is definitely better.
no, but it's strawberry. It's strawberry, so it's not.
Hey,
For real.
it tastes like cheesecake, so it's like not
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
Dude, that time in history, in between like the first vape coming out and then like the Juuls, like that whole weird. That weird, like, figuring out what a vape should be.
Yeah.
That time sucked.
Dude,
I went to a fucking vape competition with some buddies once.
Yeah.
I didn't vape or whatever, but I went to this fucking... My buddies vaped, and they would do tricks and stuff. Oh, fuck. I'm so embarrassed saying this out loud.
Honestly, I used to be able to do like dragon rings and
Yeah,
stuff.
I could do...
Dude,
I could do
I used
O's.
to be able to like sit. I used to sit in my room and like do like the splits and stuff. I was a loser.
I can always do O's, but that's about it. But like my buddies were like, it was like right when vape started becoming big.
Yep.
We went to this like vape competition, and it was in this warehouse. And like we walk in, and there was a group of people in a circle, like a fight was going on.
Yes.
And then 2 people would walk up. And they'd shake hands, and then someone would like walk through the door, and they'd be like, "Yo, shut the door! You're letting the draft in. The air
Yep.
needs to be still." So, and then they'd play music, and they'd be like, "Whoa!" And they do a backflip or whatever. And
the good ones would have like a laser light show going
Yeah.
on, so it'd
Yeah.
go through the smoke.
dumbest time in American history.
So-
God bless.
Oh my
I remember
god!
dude, the first time I ever figured out what a Juul was, I was at a I went down to Florida to see Foo Fighters with a
Nice.
with a very close friend of mine that will not be named. We don't name names here.
Yeah.
But we were down there, and I was like actively smoking a cigarette, and a lady came up to me and she was like, "Hey," and like incredible looking, like 10 out of 10. She was like, "Do you know what a Juul is?" And
Yeah.
I was just like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, it's like what you're doing, but like not as good." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she gave us like 4 free Juuls.
Dang.
Yeah.
Juuls are expensive.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was wild. I was like, dude, these are so dumb. Whatever. And then taking the Jeep back from
Yeah.
Florida back to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Just because we were in a car, dude, we ripped all 4
Yeah.
of us. Dude, we were just ripping
It's so-
them the whole time, man.
It's so funny. Yeah, I had the same thing. I was like,
These-
Juuls are so dumb.
These are so dumb. And then you're in a car and you're like,
like,
But then you're like, these are so stupid.
Oh,
But your
yeah.
buddy has one, and you're like, can I hit that though? You mind if I
yeah.
hit that?
well,
Yeah.
I've never smoked Juuls, but the weed I vape looks like a Juul,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's easy to fly with. So if you
Man.
break it down and
you
like
can
hide
fly with, is that nicotine or is that weed?
it's I vape weed. That's
You-
weed
you
in
can
my
fly
vape.
with weed?
So there's different ways.
What does TSA have to say about that?
Well,
What's
first
that?
of all, in
Don't talk about
California,
this.
they don't care.
Yeah, very good. I remember in 2019 I took a 2-week trip out to Europe, and I went to like Berlin, Prague, Vienna, Rome, and Budapest, but their airports are weird because like smoke like the whole hey you guys shouldn't smoke never caught on over there
Oh,
in like that part of
no.
Europe. So in their airports they have these rooms with like these giant like vacuum like ceilings.
There's one at the Nashville airport too.
They tore it down.
Did they?
Yes. It's not
Shit.
there anymore. I know because I went back for a buddy of mine's wedding last year. It's
Damn.
not there.
I could-
but
It was there when I worked there.
but it's commonplace.
I think Cleveland still has one in their airport.
Good.
Probably, but it's like you think it's cool. You're waiting for your airplane. You're like, oh awesome! I get to go smoke a cigarette. And
Yeah.
then you go into this like sliding door room, and it's just a bunch of other people with yellow fingernails, and you're just like,
Yeah.
You get halfway through your cigarette, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's just
You-
it turns sad.
You walk
so
up,
quick.
you walk up to the wall and you go like this.
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
like a line.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, and I thought I was like, I'm getting a very European experience. And
Yeah.
then it's just
You're like, no, I'm just
Very
a piece
bad.
of
you're
shit.
like, yeah, this is just very, very sad.
Well,
And-
Terrible.
so you said you were in Vienna. I was also in Vienna when I went to Europe for a little bit. I
love
loved
Vienna.
I loved Vienna.
It's
I loved
my-
So was I. I went
Austria.
there a bunch.
Vienna was my favorite stop
never been
on
there.
that on my 2 weeks in Europe.
Freaking gorgeous, my God! But did you see? You had to have seen it because you were there. The cigarettes in at least Austria, and I think also in Germany. And when I was there, I don't think they were on them in France. They have the pictures
Of
on them
the fucked up
of the
like,
cancer,
yeah,
of the
and the
mouth,
chin.
and the throat, and
Yeah.
the chin, and the lungs.
Yeah.
They fully print pictures
You-
of
Yeah.
cancer on packs of cigarettes, and they're like, if
you
you
wanna
want to
know-
smoke, you can, but look.
You wanna know what's fucked up? I saw that and I was like, give me the cigarettes.
Yeah.
I
I gotta bring these back home. I
come
gotta
on,
show
come
this to
on,
my buddies.
come on.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fucking buzzing.
Dude, they put in all that work and I was still like, yeah, I'll take 2 packs. Come on.
It's the same thing.
Oh my God.
No, dude,